What's up, everybody? Ryan Wilkerson, Director of Growth with the Dave Friedman team at Keller Williams.
Hey guys, Dave Friedman here. Nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks for joining, guys. We wanted to shoot a really quick but very informative video for you guys today about Zillow Flex. There's a lot of questions in the market. It's kind of a buzzword at the moment. Like, you keep hearing Zillow Flex. Like, what is it? What does it mean? And I meet and speak with agents all day, every day. And one of the most consistent things that I've been hearing, especially over the last 6 months, is that their business is hard to come by right now. Business is drying up. It's kind of going in the wrong direction. And they really don't feel like their current brokerages or their current teams are providing them with either enough additional leads to kind of help supplement their business, or they're supplementing them with leads from lead sources that have very, very low long-term conversion rates. And so most agents in our market typically are dominate and crush their SOI and past clients, right? Which is awesome. Like, every agent strives to be the agent that like lives by referral. But when you get into like a very difficult market that we found ourselves in over the last 2 years with where interest rates are, the SOI tends to dry up, right? It doesn't come as quickly and as easily. And because of that, a lot of agents are struggling with consistency in their business, with growing their business, with hitting income goals. And I think the impetus of this video is really to understand that your SOI, while an incredible lead source, is just that. It's one lead source for your business. And when it's great, it's great. But if you're solely relying on it and the market goes in a different direction, makes things very difficult for you to make your business predictable. Yeah. And so we want to talk to you about Zillow Flex and all of the benefits that come along with being a part of a team that is enrolled in this program. Why are the vast majority of agents in our market feeling like their business is going in the wrong direction?
I mean, there's a lot of things that are contributing towards it, as Ryan already mentioned. SOI is typically everyone's lead source, especially when the market's hot. Business is so easy to come by. Everybody wants to go buy a home, and generally in a hot market, a lot more people can afford to buy a home. And so right now, you have all these people that just purchased, right? And they have these ultra low interest rates, and they don't want to give those interest rates up. So they're not moving anytime soon. That, in addition, consumer confidence is way down, right? People they don't think it's a great time to go buy a bunch of investment properties and go trade up to another home because appreciation is really high and interest rates are very low. So, we're in what is actually a normal market. Like, I would consider this a totally normal market where, I've sold homes in this interest rate climate for years and years and years. And it's just, it's different than it was a couple years ago. So for somebody that's never experienced a different kind of market, like, this probably seems terrible. But for us, like, this is business as usual. Yeah. It just happened to be really hot before. But, business right now is down for a lot of people. And the reason being is that from the peak, from transaction sales of a couple of years ago, transaction sales are actually down 40% from the peak. That's 40%. And even in comparison to last year, it's down close to 10% for pending transactions year to date. So as a lot of people thought, hey, the market's going to smooth out and transaction sales are going to start to increase or level out, like, guess what? It hasn't happened. I don't know when that's going to happen. I think it'll continue to go down. And that's not a bad thing. But here's another thing that's impacting people too, is the amount of realtors that are in the market. It's still about 7,500. So not enough people have gotten out of the market yet. So you have this pie and all these spoons are in there eating off of it. And then the pie just gets a lot smaller, right? So there's less for people to eat. And we're waiting for the amount of spoons to get smaller too. And it's actually started to happen. It just hasn't happened at the rate that the market has gone down. So, that's another big thing that's impacting people, is just that the amount of transactions are down 40%. So, if they don't have a very consistent lead source, I mean, real estate is easy when you can figure out consistent lead generation, meaning you're just generating leads consistently, no matter what the market's doing, up or down. It doesn't have to impact you if you know how to generate business, right? The problem is most people only know how to generate business from one place, and that's sphere of influence. And they get really lucky in a hot market. And they thought they did a great job, but really they don't know how they got the business. It just came to them. Well, when all that stuff dries up, what you need are multiple lead sources to rely on. And that way you can stay consistent. And for us, it's super easy. If we want to grow, we just take the dial and we turn it up, and then we get more leads, and then we grow. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. So that's what's impacting a lot of realtors, and that's how you can get around having it not impact you. You know, this year, we're going to grow another 25%. Last year, we grew 25%. So in a climate where the market has 40% fewer transactions and we're growing by 25%, that's pretty remarkable. I mean, I think that means that we've figured out a thing or two about, you know, maybe not everything. I think there's a lot for us to learn, but certainly we know how to sell homes and not slow down, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's really important to understand about, regardless of market condition, like, people are always buying and selling.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a matter of you getting in front of those people consistently enough. And that it really is the name of the game. And I know you and I had looked at some numbers a week or so ago, and we were looking at kind of transactions that have taken place in the first quarter of this year. And this is a staggering number. What was the average transactions per agent in our market through the first quarter?
0.4 transactions per agent.
0.4. Like, that's unbelievable.
That's not paying your bills.
Right. That is, no one's paying bills
No.
selling 0.4 homes in a 3-month period.
Right.
And so, you know, obviously the market is kind of contracting. Our team has grown, and a huge component of that is because of our ability, like Dave said, to turn that dial up and consistently have really, really hot new prospects coming into our team every single week. So, like, outside of lead flow, like, is there anything else that you can kind of speak to as to, like, why we are in such rapid growth mode when the market's going in the opposite direction?
First of all, I think it's mindset. You know, I hear a lot of people out there, they're saying like, hey, listings are impossible to come by. There's none out there. Well, guess what? Every time there's a transaction, there's a buyer and there's a listing that sells, right? So for every buyer sale, there's a listing sale. I mean, the listing sales are out there, and we're actually up almost double in our listing appointments and listings signed so far this year over last year. And it's just because, one thing that's changed is our mindset has changed. Our mindset on how to get business has changed. Our mindset is eliminating limiting beliefs that might drag us down and make us sit back and wait for the market to change. And that's what most people do. They sit there and think, oh, the market's down, I have to wait for it to change. We think differently. We say, hey, the market's down, what do we do to change to make sure that we continue to grow, right? And so we put together those kind of strategies. So mindset and thinking differently is a big thing. And a lot of people get caught up in the wrong environment, and their office is like doom and gloom and horror stories, and they sit around and talk about the bad stuff, right? Well, we eliminate that from our environment because that's not a healthy place to be in. It doesn't contribute towards anything. And so I think mindset in the right environment is a very important place to be in. So that way you can unlock, you know, different kinds of thoughts on how to achieve greatness in this kind of market, where the greatness that you achieved in the last market doesn't work anymore, right? So you got to find just different methods on how to do things.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. You know, another thing too that's helped with our growth is that people know we generate a ton of business, and so a lot of realtors call us and just say, hey, like, we know you guys are an open book and you're open to telling us how you do it. Can we just meet with you and just get some ideas? Like, we're struggling. We say, sure, come on. And we show people, we pop the hood, you know, to the engine and show them what's going on, and, you know, things that we've changed and fine-tuned and for us to be able to grow and generate more business. And a lot of the time, people are like, you know what, this seems really good and also hard. So how about we just jump on board with you? And that's another way that we're able to grow, is because we're attracting a lot of great team members that see the value after they come in and join a team meeting or join a team advance or a training that we might have. And that's, again, when we get a new team member, we just take the dial and we turn up more leads and more ready to go appointments for that team member. So when they come in, you know, within the first couple of weeks, we're shooting to them ready to go appointments of people that want to go look at homes, and they can go take listings, show homes to buyers, and close homes within 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, it's really an incredible system to plug into. And, and just kind of wrap that kind of up here is, one thing that I think just has to be said is, you mentioned the previous market versus the current market we're in. And it's unbelievable to me, the majority of agents in our market have been in real estate for less than 5 years. So their intro to real estate was the COVID years, right? Which was lightning in a bottle, an artificially manipulated market. And we've now been out of COVID longer than we were in it. And
that's crazy to think about.
It's crazy to think about. And it's crazy how many conversations I have with agents every week that still have the mindset of like, at some point in time, that market is coming back, thinking that it's going to be in the very near future. And the fact of the matter is, it's not.
No.
Right?
Do you think we'll ever get to interest rates in the 3s again?
I don't ever see that in our lifetime.
No, and if it does happen,
If that does happen, the state of the economy is in a horrible, horrible place.
Right, and then hold on, it'll be a great place. But there's nothing to wait around for because, again, rates in the 5s and 6s and 7s are way more normal than them being in the 3s, right?
It is the historical norm.
Yeah, it is, 100%.
Right? And so in order to see different results, you need to be willing to try different strategies. In order to see your business grow, you have to do things that you've never done, right? And that's what it is. And I think part of the problem with that for a lot of people is like, you can't see the forest for the trees of like, how do I do that?
Yeah.
Right? The advantage of coming to a team like DFT is that we have the system.
Yeah.
It is ironclad. It is so well put together that as long as you are willing to put in the work and work the system is going to work for you every single time. You can go to our recruiting website, davefriedmancoaching.com. Please read our agent testimonials.
Yeah.
We update that website constantly.
We just posted like 5 new agent videos. Ryan just kind of like approached them in the office and tell them what was going on and interviewed them about their experience. And so there's 5 new ones out there you should go check out.
Go check out, please. And so this is a great segue, right? Like the video's purpose is to talk to you guys about Zillow Flex.
Yeah.
So like, let's break it down, right? What is Zillow Flex, right? So Zillow's core mission is to deliver like white glove 5-star service to the users of the Zillow platform. The users of the platform are not us as agents, right? The users of the platform are the people that become our clients. And so how Zillow has historically worked is if you were an agent and you had a credit card, you can call Zillow up, you can sign a contract, and you can buy leads in a particular zip code. The wild thing is that here in Charleston, the average Zillow lead costs $1,100. It is an insanely expensive market. And what Zillow found through that kind of pay-to-play model was that their customer service was really lacking for their end users. And so they thought, like, what could we do to enhance this experience? And that's how the Zillow Flex program was born. Zillow Flex is an incredibly arduous, selective club of teams that get to be a part of this program. And effectively, you have to interview to be a part of it. And so I was hoping, Dave, that you could pop the hood a little bit in terms of what does Zillow Flex look for in a team to determine and say, hey, you're going to be one of the teams that we're going to give the majority of Zillow leads in a market to.
Sure. It's really easy. I mean, as Ryan mentioned, Zillow just doesn't want to give leads to anyone anymore. They want to make sure they're qualified, great realtors. And what they look for to get into Zillow Flex specifically, and what we had to do is we had to interview with 5 different people, 5 different executives at Zillow, and demonstrate that we know how to sell homes and we know how to convert deals and leads. So we have exceptional training that's ongoing. That we put the customer first, and that's our North Star, is just delivering exceptional customer service. That we have a great culture. There are things that they look for culturally. They like cultural alignment, and that we're able to grow and scale. So they're not interested in having an individual agent coming into Zillow Flex. What they're interested in is a team that can grow and scale. So they make you pop the hood and they look to see, like, do you have a recruiting department? Do you have an operations department? Do you have a lead generation and inside sales team? Do you have, what do your agents do? What do they look like? What's their mindset like? So they're looking for an organization that isn't gonna aspire to get there. They're looking for one that is there and that can scale on top of that. Their market capture right now is 3%. Zillow has 3%. Out of all the homes that sell, Zillow's part of about 3% of them.
That's nationwide.
Nationwide.
Yeah.
And their goal is to get to 6%. So they're looking to double their market share, which that doesn't seem like a big jump, but that's a lot of deals to go from.
Hundreds of thousands of deals, yeah.
So, what they're looking to do is when they introduced Flex into Charleston, they brought in, I think it was maybe 8 teams or 7 teams, and they're down to 5. And so once you're in, it doesn't mean that you're in forever, because things can happen and your performance can slip and then they kick you out. But they don't want a lot of teams in there. They'd rather have a few that can grow and take a lot of the market share. And so there's no opportunity to get into Zillow Flex in Charleston as a team, or I guess there is. You have to join a team that's already in.
Yep.
So you can be an individual that joins a team, or you could be a team that joins a team, and have the ability to take these Zillow Flex leads. And so, yeah, it took me 6 months of pounding on that door, knowing that they were coming to this market, to making sure that we got a foothold in there. And now that we do, we're in, and we're actually not just number one in this market, but we're in the top 10 out of 900 partners as it relates to performance nationwide.
Yeah. And taking that a step further, the thing to understand about when Flex enters a market, 85% of all Zillow connections, right? And so for everyone out there, a Zillow connection is when someone goes onto Zillow, they put in their name, their phone number, their email, they hit contact an agent. It rings a Zillow customer service executive. They then ask the client 2 questions. Do you want to go see this property you inquired about? Yes. And number 2, are you ready to be connected with a local agent that can show you this property? They have to say yes to both of those questions for your phone to ring. Zillow is generating thousands of new leads that they are vetting and sending to your phone in real time with hot and ready buyers, right? And so when you look at the online lead space for real estate, not all leads are created equal. We can all agree the hottest real estate lead sources are the lead sources that can consistently provide you with new clientele that are ready to buy in the next few months.
That's right.
Right? Zillow Flex, the average Zillow Flex connection that comes into our team buys within 90 days, 72% of the time.
And a lot of them are coming in pre-qualified now, which is like the next level of Zillow leads, which is amazing because they go out and buy immediately. So usually they call, they have a home in mind, and they want to go buy. And we go meet them, and it's like a one and done, showing to purchase. And so a lot of them are transacting immediately with us. And so they're hot, ready to go appointments to your phone. And it's not like you're cold calling and prospecting and following up. Your phone rings, you pick it up, it's somebody that wants to go look at a home that's pre-qualified, and you take them, and they generally just go purchase that home. And if not, maybe you show them 5 more, and then they go buy one of those.
Yeah, but really, really hot buyers, right? And that, if there is a secret sauce out there, that is the secret sauce.
And they're so hot that a lot of our top team members, they're converting 1 out of 4 of these. And of course you have buyers that come in, and just like any buyer, their situation might change, or maybe they thought they can get qualified, but they can't. But these are all pretty pre-vetted to the point that 1 out of 4 of them will likely transact with you if you're really good at what you do. If you're a great realtor, which I'm sure you are, 1 out of 4 will transact with you. And there is no other lead source out there that has a conversion rate like that. If you've ever worked internet leads, you've sat there and grinded the phone, pounded out calls, people don't want to talk to you, they're not interested. That's not this lead source. No. They are interested, they want to go look at homes, they're ready to go, they're pre-vetted, qualified, and 1 out of 4 will purchase within generally a 90-day time frame. And if you continue to work the other 3 over the course of a year, another one will probably buy out of that too.
Absolutely. And so can you kind of speak a little bit about, our team's performance in terms of when we say connection calls, right, we're talking about Zillow ringing our phone with a client on the other end of the line in real time.
We're talking about hot, ready to go appointments. When he says connection call, what you think about is like hot, ready to go appointments that are just ready to go buy a home and look at them with you.
Yeah. And so like, can you talk a little bit about how many appointments that come in through Zillow for us on a monthly basis? And then maybe talk a little bit about how the process with Zillow works when really great new agents join our team. What does that mean for our lead flow from Zillow?
Yeah, sure. I mean, right now we're getting over 200 of these a month, which, might sound like a lot or might sound like a little, but it's a lot of business.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes I reach out to the community and say, hey, we need more people. We have room for like 3 more agents to go on hot, ready to go appointments. And we're in a position right now where we need about 5 more. And Zillow wants us to get to 300 before the end of the year. So we have a lot of opportunity right now, and they want us to grow the team to give us more hot, ready to go appointments. So when we bring a team member in, that just means that, again, we turn the dial and we get more hot, ready to go appointments directly to you. And it's not just from Zillow Flex, that's one lead source that we have, but just like it's dangerous to have one lead source like your sphere of influence, we have a whole slew of lead sources that we generate a ton of business from, and Zillow Flex is just one of them. But what's equal across all the lead sources is that they're all hot, ready to go appointments because our inside sales team works and generates and sets all the appointments for our team members. So no matter what lead source you're working here, you're getting a lot of hot, ready to go appointments. And when we bring in more team members, it doesn't mean that it dilutes the amount of leads that we have and it takes away from others. We just get more leads and we get more business. And going back to like, how are we able to grow in a market that's going down, is we just get more leads and get more hot, ready to go appointments. And so we can grow.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think is so unique about us is just that, right? Like, I think if you've ever been on a team as an agent or a brokerage that provides leads, sometimes it's not the best culture within the team, right? There's a lot of hoarding leads. There's a lot of like blood in the water, me against you. There's no sharing of information, and it creates a lot of animosity. One of the great things about the way our system works, whether it's Zillow Flex or any of our lead sources, is that as new agents come in and join our team, we do consistently dial up lead flow so that we're always in a surplus, so that every agent on the team has the ability realistically to hit their financial goals.
Oh, yeah.
That creates such amazing synergy, such amazing culture. Everyone's open and sharing and cheering for each other because there is more than enough to go around. And in this market, that is something that is incredibly rare. Incredibly rare.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a brand new agent that started with us 2 weeks ago. And this week alone, I think she's signed 3 clients, put one under a contract, and set a bunch of appointments. And we have a sales chat where people drop emojis in there as they make progress with, sales and meeting people and signing clients. And everyone's just like cheering her on. A lot of organizations, you'd have somebody come in and run really hot like that, and people are trying to pull them down. They're jealous. A lot of people aren't seeing the same success in a lot of places. But here, everyone comes in and does the same thing. They just blow up like that.
Yeah.
And it gives energy to everybody else in the organization. So it's great to see that everyone's kind of behind the new agents and pushing from behind and helping them grow and supporting their growth.
It's just another example of how our system works, right?
Yeah.
Just to give a little bit more of detail here, like that agent has been a full-time agent at another very big brokerage in Charleston for 2 years.
Yeah.
She sold 2 houses in 2 years. She has been on our team for 2.5 weeks.
And she was in a brokerage and on a team for 2 years. And so like the brokerage and the team were trying to help her out. For 2 years, she sold 2 homes, and that's it.
Yeah. 3 weeks on the team.
Yeah.
Deal under contract, 3 clients signed.
Yeah.
It's because of the opportunities that we provide consistently every week, rain or shine, interest rates up, interest rates down. Your phone is ringing with people that are ready to go on our team.
Yeah, big time.
Okay. And so in addition to just getting that consistency in your business from lead flow, one of the things that we are huge on at DFT and kind of our North Star for our agents is we want agents doing what agents want to be doing, right? That means you're going on appointments, you're signing clients, you're negotiating deals, and you're cashing commission checks. Everything else is white noise.
Yeah.
Right. And so our team is built to take on all of that white noise stuff. It's very important stuff, and all of it aids to the client experience, which is another thing that we are huge on, because you're only as good as your last 5-star review, right? And so with us, there's a lot of different leverage points that we provide to you on our team. So do you want to talk a little bit, Dave, just about what are some of those things, and how do our leverage tools and the different business units that we have, how can they help take an agent from where they are to like absolutely crushing their goals?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. Obviously, we talked a lot about our leads, and it's not just Zillow Flex. We have a lot of other lead sources. We have our inside sales team. That's really the what generates all these hot, ready to go appointments for our team members. So without them, we couldn't make it happen. So we have an exceptional inside sales team that does that. And even before that, it's our marketing department that pushes out a ton of great content and marketing to our database to generate new leads and appointments, again, to feed into our inside sales team that feeds you. So, in our organization, the agent is in the center of it, and then there's all of this to support them, right? So that way, as Ryan mentioned, you can do the things that you want to do in real estate, which is generally, go sign listings, show some homes, and go close some deals. Right. And so outside of that, I mean, we have closing coordinators and listing coordinators that are there to support you and do all the heavy administrative stuff. And I think at this point in the industry, everyone's heard of a closing coordinator and listing coordinator, and they're like, oh, I've used them and I can pay somebody a few $100s to do that. Well, everyone says the same thing. When they come and work with our closing coordinators and listing coordinators, they realize how much they were left doing before when they were paying somebody and how little they do now with that stuff. So we really take it all off your plate because nobody likes to handle that stuff. And so what our team members have found is that we just do a lot more from a administrative perspective. And then we have great technology that people use, which is really important with keeping up with your database, your past clients, nurturing people. So there's a lot of tools and technology that goes into that is very easy to use and helps you extract more and more referrals from past clients. And then we have all of our client events, which are really based around, four times a year we put together a client events, and they're all a lot of fun. The team pays for all of it. All you have to do is invite people to it, right? And that just gives you more face time. So it gives you an excuse 4 times a year to reach out to someone. If you really want to crush it, 4 times a year, you call them before the event to invite them. You hang out with them at the event. And then after the event, you call them to thank them for it. And it gives you 3 touch points. Let's say they don't pick up and they're not there. And then you still call them after and say, hey, I wish you would have made it. And they always call you back and say, I wish I could have made it too, right? So whether they come or not, it's you call them before and after. And if you can call people 4 to 8 times a year, they'll never forget about you, especially after they work with you. And it's a great way to keep in touch, and it's a giver's gain. So the more you give to people, meaning you're giving them free tickets to things and great experiences, they're willing to give you referrals, because people typically aren't transacting once, but every 7 years or so on average, 7 to 10 years really, right? So that cycle time and waiting for the next, for a client to transact again is a while, but this is a great way to keep in touch with them, but a great way to get a lot of referrals from them in the meantime too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so guys, look, we're in Q2 now, right? We're in the spring, our spring market, and real estate is seasonal. It's a seasonal game. Your year is generally made or broken in Q2 by kind of riding the wave of the market. And here's the one thing that I can say. Zillow is an incredible resource for us as business leaders to kind of get an idea of what are we expecting out of the spring market in terms of buyer activity? And we know that based on hey, this is how many you guys can expect to ring your phones this next 3 months. Buckle up. I hope you have enough people because it's going to go nuts. And if you're in this place where you've been struggling and you feel like you have to white knuckle the few opportunities that you have, or you're not making the money that you want to be making, please go to davefriedmancoaching.com, book a confidential appointment to meet with me to figure out how we can plug and play our system in your business, or email me directly at ryan@davefriedmanteam.com. I will move mountains to meet with you to show you what we can do. And just know this, that if you were to meet with me today, you can be in the field in the field with new appointments ready to go at the beginning of the spring market in 2 weekends.
Yeah.
Right?
And right now we have, there's that lead growth strategy where Zillow wants to take double the market share. We want to take more market share. So we're generating leads from other places. And so we have our 9 homes in 90 days guarantee where you can sell 9 homes in 90 days guaranteed on our team. And right now we have 5 slots that we needed to fill. Brian actually just brought on 2 people. So we have 3 more available. And so if you don't get in quickly, now is the time to call, that you might miss that. And again, we don't know when we're going to start that again and turn up the dial with more leads, but now is the time to give us a call for sure. Because if you wait, not only are you sacrificing the most important time to start getting homes under contract to make this year your best year yet, but you don't want to miss out on the opportunity for lead flow growth through our team. And what's crazy is last year, and even this year, we have people that are coming to us and saying, last year was the best year I ever had in real estate. And there's people this year that are saying this year is already their best year that they're having in real estate, which is amazing because for everybody else, they're having a very tough time. But it just goes to show that our ability to generate a lot of business for our team members has really cracked that code on how to be successful in real estate, no matter what market it is.
And no matter your level of production experience, right? I mean, we have our agents that are crushing it, 30, 40, 50 homes a year. These aren't all people that have been in the business for 20 years. These are people that have been in the business for 12 months, 6 months, 10 months, because they follow the system, right? And so please, call me, let's book a time, let's have you come in. We will pop the hood. We will show you the numbers. We will show you our agents' production. We will introduce you to new members of our team that came to us in similar fashions that you come to us from. So you can ask them the good, the bad, the ugly. You will see that we are very much for real. And so if you're really looking to take your real estate career to the next level this year, please give me a call. We'd love the opportunity to meet with you.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Hope to see you soon.